Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And today we are talking about creating empowered relationships. And today's topic is a little bit heavier, and it would be a little longer than our usual time. So there is a chance we might go way above 30 minutes, which is my targeted time. So first, let's talk about what is empowered relationship, or what is the power that we are talking about. The power that we are talking about is your inner power. It's your inner ability to choose, to feel, to be whatever you want to be. When we feel that we don't have a choice to feel something or be something or say something, that is when we feel we have lost power. So when we are in a relationship and we cannot be our true authentic self, we cannot express ourselves fully, that is when we feel disempowered in that relationship. Now, if we want to create empowered relationships where we are practicing our choice, the work is within us. We need to learn how to practice our choice, how to see we have a choice. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to take you through a process where I'll be sharing with you the way we think, the filters that we have on that take us to a place of victimhood, and that is where we lose our power. And how we can shift to be in a different way where we feel empowered because we get to keep our power because we are choosing something different. We get to a place where we are not living our habitual self, and we choose to become somebody different, somebody who is in power, because we start exercising that choice. Now, if you do a little bit of this work, you might become one of the happiest people on the planet, because most of our suffering and our pain, it does come, if not all, most of it comes from um, our relationships. When there is a struggle in any relationship, it could be a relationship between parent and a child, with a stranger, with a sibling, with a friend, with a spouse, with a partner. That is where we start to feel sad, mad, angry, lonely, judgmental, self-loathing, regrets. All of them come from that place. So today we have a lot to cover. Let's dive in. Before we get there, just to recap, feeling empowered equals choosing, exercising your free will, exercising your right to choose in any given minute. So first I'll talk about the 8 victim filter. There's many more. I'm just choosing 8, and then I'll talk about 9 empowerment way of thinking or being. And there's again definitely way more than that. These are the ones I have written down. So let's dig deeper. So the first one, whenever you're looking for safety, whenever you're telling the other person, I feel safe with you. Oh, this is safe. Oh, I need to micromanage you. Oh, I need to control you. That is when we are looking for safety. When you find yourself saying stuff like, I don't feel safe in this, I don't feel safe here, that means you are prone to being a victim and you are letting your power go. I will be sharing with you another way of being where you'll get on the other side. But whenever you find yourself that you're looking for safety, you want to hold on to something, you're afraid of speaking your truth. Whenever you are in that kind of space within you, pause. Recognize that you're going down the victim rabbit hole. Just that. And then I'll be sharing with you in just a bit what else you can do. Another way you can catch yourself when you blame other people. Whenever we are blaming other people, that is when we want to put the ownership on another person. Yes, people are going to do crazy, interesting things to you. But when we go towards the energy of blame, that is when we are not taking ownership of something. And I have my notes over there. Today, there's a lot of notes. So you might see me looking at my notes quite a bit today. So then we are missing the ownership part. Whenever something happened, what usually happened? This person is blaming this person is blaming the other person. Does it get resolved? No. But if one of them own, it gets resolved. So whenever you find yourself blaming other people, blaming the past, blaming government, blaming religion, blaming society, blaming the unknown, blaming aliens, whatever you find yourself blaming, in that moment, pause and recognize you're going towards victim rabbit hole, and that is exactly how you're giving away your power. It's not that other people take power from you. We let go of that power. The third one, when you find yourself saying, it's not my fault. Yeah, you can say, like, so many other variations of that, but sometimes you're saying in your mind, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything wrong. In that moment, we are giving away our power. There is a energy you're giving to the other person, because in that moment you're trying to protect yourself. So when we have this, I need to protect myself, that means we are feeling weak within us. That is, again, a victim rabbit hole that you're going into, and you're just giving away your power. There's something else you can do instead of blaming, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, whenever you find yourself blaming anybody or anything, pause. Because in that moment, you're letting go of some energy from within you to some outside source. The next one is negative self-talk, which is huge, which exists within every single one of us. Whenever you're talking negative about yourself, you're literally taking your power and you're just throwing it out. It's like throwing it out. I have free power. Who wants it? I'm just throwing it out. I'm not keeping it inside of me. Again, no one is taking that away from you. We do it to ourselves. I am the person who will create empowered relationship. I am the person who will create disempowered relationship, depending on where my consciousness is. How am I thinking? If I'm talking negative to myself, of course I'm going to receive negative talk from the other person. So whenever you find yourself indulging in negative self-talk, pause and remember, right now you're giving away your power. You're giving away the energy that is within you, and you do have the choice to talk to yourself in a different way. Usually, the negative self-talk is so addictive, and then we stay stuck in it, and that becomes our little secret pacifier that we go to, because it creates a sense of connection with the self. It creates a sense of false intimacy with ourself. And if you pay attention to when we are engaged in our negative self-talk, the kind of chemicals or brain activity that is going on within your body, it makes us feel like we are connecting, even though that connection is negative. So that's why it becomes very addictive. That's why when we are indulging in negative self-talk, sometimes it's like, but how do I let it go? Because it has become a part of you. And I myself, I'm a recovering self-negative talk person, and it feels so good to not be able to do that. Once in a while, when I see something comes to the surface, I can work on it, but I can assure you it feels so good to not look at myself with those negative eyes or with that negative self-image, or say all the bad things to myself in my head. It feels really good. It's worth the work. But if you're seeing that, that is how you are letting go of power in your own relationships. The next one is, I can't. Whenever you say, I can't do this anymore, I can't deal with this anymore, that level of frustration, it has the energy of excuses. That is when we throw in the towel and we are ready to run away. What it's lacking is ownership, owning our actions, owning our words, bringing the power. But we are giving away the power to some unknown thing that I can't. It's too much. I have been in this craziness for too long. So whenever you catch yourself saying, I can't, pause, because in that moment, you're letting go of your power, because you're also letting go of your choice. You always have a different choice available to us. The next one is, when you catch yourself saying, this always happens to me. Usually, if you are in an unhealthy relationship, that's your inner dialogue. This always happens to me. Maybe you have had multiple relationships where things are not working out, and you go into, this is like, this is always happening to me, and that is your way of just like, being the victim, going into self-pity. Whenever you find yourself, whether verbally or in your thought process, going down that road, just stop. As you will make that stop, you are about to exercise your choice to be a different way, to create a different reality within yourself, because you're going to get to keep your power. If I say this always happens to me, I am letting go of all my power. I'm saying someone else is responsible, not me. So now the power is with that person. The energy is with that person. That is when we feel hollow, we feel empty, we feel useless, we feel worthless. But when we say that I can make a different choice, we own and we step into a different way of being. And we'll talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. The next one, it's number 7, is karma. I deserve it. So many people, especially in the spiritual community, or if they are newly on the spiritual path and they have really just, recently learned what a word karma is, it's whatever you put out comes back to your face. When someone is mistreating them, again, if they have not done in-depth study of the topic, they will just say, I must have done it with somebody else in the past life. It's just coming back to me. I rather just suffer it now, and I rather resolve it now than take it to my next life. So that is a very toxic way of thinking about karma. So let me give you a more, I think, universally aligned version of it. If you do believe in past lives, they all are happening at the same time. Once we leave Earth, there's no time and space. Like, yes, there is space. There's no concept of time. The continuum of time and space that we experience exists on the planet that we are in. And once we go out of our galaxy, once we go out of our little hub, God knows what exists there. We don't know that. There's parts of it that we haven't even discovered. So when we get so attached to, I learned this and this is what's true, always question yourself. I personally always question myself whenever I get so attached to a concept, and I keep learning more about it. What karma really is, how you are being right now, you're going to experience it in the next moment. If you're being happy right now, you'll be happy next moment. If you're being miserable right now, you'll be miserable next moment. It's the power of choice that we have. If I am hurting somebody right now, I'm going to feel hurt within me, because we all are one. We all are connected. So when I am feeling hurt, how you think my next 10 minutes are going to be? I will feel hurt. Someone else would say, well, that's karma. You hurted that person, now you're hurting. If in that moment I release the guilt and judgment and the shame, and I forgive myself, and I release all of that, and I accept myself wherever I am, I will be happy for next 10 minutes, and there would be no impact of karma because I exercised a different choice. So there's a lot of junk that we carry within ourselves that keeps coming back to us. So whenever you find yourself saying, I deserve this, even if you're saying it in a positive way, let go of that, because that is when you are also letting go of your power. For example, you might have heard yourself say, or other people say, I deserve better than that. It's wonderful that they realize that they deserve better than that. But when we stay connected to the terminology of it, I deserve better, I need to be this, or you don't deserve to experience this, that is a victim mindset. And I will share with you what would be an empowered mindset, especially when we are in the dynamics of relationship. And the first relationship would be with yourself. You're way more than that. What you deserve, you can never comprehend. When we say, I deserve this, we are making ourselves small. We are letting go of the infinite power that we have. And we're like, I'll just take this one dot. Personally, I stay away from using the word deserve, and I don't allow my little one to use that either. We just try to speak in a different way. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're saying, I deserve that, or you deserve that, or I deserve better, pause. That is where you're giving away your power. The next one is the last one. Everyone is against me. Whenever you find yourself having that kind of conversation or that kind of feeling, that is when you're going into a victim mode, into a victim rabbit hole, and also you're giving away all your power. Whenever you think everyone is against you, you're actually just projecting. If someone comes to you and they say all the negative things to you, and you're telling yourself, everyone is against me, you have basically taken that person's energy and now you're holding on to it. It doesn't belong to you. And we'll talk more about it in the empowered way of thinking and being in a relationship. So let's switch gears. The first one, my favorite one, I cause my life. Now, if you have not studied this topic in depth, it can do all kind of stuff to your head, especially if you come from a religious background where you believe God is doing everything for you in your life, and your fate is decided and everything is decided. It would really rattle your mind. So let me go a little bit deeper into it. When I say I am the cause, I am saying that I get to choose my exercise, or I get to choose or exercise my right to be whoever I want to be in this moment. That is the ultimate level of taking responsibility for yourself, taking ownership for yourself. What you think, what you speak, what you act or react. Most of us are reactive in relationships. So if I am going to think, I have the best partner ever, and I am going to talk to that partner like they are the best partner ever, I'm going to feel as if I have the best partner ever. I am going to act or do acts of service for them as if I have the best partner ever without seeking anything in return. So I am being pure channel of sharing. I'm sharing. I'm not looking for a bargain. Most likely, I will have the best partner ever because that person will reciprocate what I'm putting out. Now, I just caused my life. I just caused that moment because I took responsibility for my thoughts, for my words, for my feelings, and my actions. God has given us free will. God has, given us this playground called life to do whatever we want to do. When we choose to be darkness, which is victimhood, we experience darkness. When we choose to be light, which is empowering way of being, which is taking ownership and keeping our power home and not giving it to another person, we get to experience light. It's that easy. It's that simple. One of the things I teach my clients, and I personally experience in my life too, first I teach myself and then anyone else. Even if there is a troubling person in your life, like, that is really bad relationship, and you're like, Alia, there's no hope there. I'm not saying stay in that relationship or work on it while staying in. If you're very unhappy, always exit it. But in terms of how you see that person, experiment it just for 10 days. See that person in all the amazing qualities they have, and do not focus on the negative qualities that are hurting you or impacting you. Even if you're at a distance, even if it's your ex-spouse and now you're sitting here in bitterness all day long, just think about, oh my God, that person is so wonderful. I love this quality about them. I love this quality about them. I love this thing about them. You will see within 24 to 48 hours, you will first yourself feel very energized, but you might get something from that person, maybe a text message, a phone call, an interaction where you will get to see their amazing side. Now imagine if you live with that person. If you focus on what is so amazing about them, that is what you will extract from them. So now tell me, are you creating your life, or God is giving you all these challenges. We don't realize every challenge that comes in our life, it comes so we can expand more. So we are forced to focus on the light within us and within other people. So my friend, I am not going to take too much time here. Maybe I can do a separate teaching on how you're the cause. I did actually do one of my podcast video. If you're interested more in it, you can search Unleashed Muslim, and that is the podcast where you'll find, I believe it's I Am the Cause or You're the Cause. You'll learn more about it. So wherever you're in your relationships, if you want them to be empowered or better, apply that. Focus on the amazing things in that person, but also choose what you're thinking, speaking, feeling, acting. Thinking and feeling are the hardest one. We can force ourselves to do good actions. We can force ourselves to speak good words, but somehow we feel like, our feeling and our thoughts, they are invisible. No one can see us. We can do whatever we can think horrible things about them. We can feel bad about ourselves or about them, and nobody will know. My friend, those are the two places, because those are the vibrations that are going to create the ripple effect. So really work hard on it. If you need my help, you can always reach out to me. I would love to be your guide in that regard. The next one is the number second, I create my thoughts, feeling, and reactions. If you forget about everything else, and if you just take this sentence, I create my thoughts, my feelings, and my reactions, you're going to have the most harmonious and loving relationships in your life, because you will stay empowered. No one can change the way you think. No one can change the way you feel. No one can change the way you react if you own yourself and you exercise that choice. What happens mostly, we let other people's behavior, their thoughts, their words, their choices dictate how we feel, what we think, and what we choose to act on. If you can make that separation, you're going to have the most empowering relationships. Even the worst relationship would become really amazing. The next one is I can explain, but I do not complain. Now, this is the hardest one for most of us. When we start going into complaining, that is when we have opened the floodgates of energy to just leave our system. Complaining is one of the biggest energy leakage we have in our vessel. So if anything is going on, you can explain to another person without complaining. Try that. One time, my mentor gave me the suggestion to stop complaining for 3 days in our mind. It's very easy to stop doing it in words. It was one of the hardest things to do. It was so hard. I had to really be in control of my thoughts. But once I was able to do it for even a little bit of period of time, it's liberating. But most importantly, it's energizing, because we get to keep that energy that we lose with complaining. So if something is going on, if you're having a fight, you're having an argument, explain without complaining. Tell that person, I got hurt because this, and that, without saying, and you're so horrible. Because of you, I felt this. When we are in the heat of the moment, there's such a strong urge to complain and blame the other person. If in that moment we stay just at explaining, I'm just sharing this is what I feel, you'll get to stay in power in your relationships. The next one is, I refuse to take things personally. Oh my God, I'm telling you, my friend, this is going to empower you beyond your imagination. When someone comes to you and they unload whatever is within them and you take it personally, you let go of all your power. Now, whatever craziness is going within them is controlling you, because you let go of all of your power. You opened the door and you invited all they wanted to say about you. So even though you might have heard this many times, people project, humans project. Whatever is within me, I'm going to put it on you. If I think I'm horrible, I'm going to think you're horrible. If I think I'm beautiful, I'll think you're beautiful. Whatever we have inside, we project it on other people. So whenever someone comes to you, they start talking to you, know that they are projecting whatever is within them. It has nothing to do with you. Do not be selfish and think that whatever they are saying is about you. They are just reflecting what's going on within them. In that moment, you can feel compassion for them. In that moment, you can feel how much they must be hurting, that these are the words that are coming out. And in that moment, you can actually heal that relationship if you don't take things personally. And try it. It would just, take every single one of your relationship to a next level. The next one is I own and do not blame. Again, these are all the ways or level of consciousness where you can stay empowered in your relationships. And this one is I own and I do not blame. When you get into the habit of owning your choices and stop blaming, you won't have to feel guilty. Guilt comes when we are not owning, when we are turning against ourselves and we're saying there's something wrong with me and we are blaming other person for making us feel wrong. Own it. If you do anything, own it, course correct. You don't have to go into guilt. You don't have to blame anybody else for what you're feeling in that moment. For example, let's say if you're the one who started the argument in the relationship, and you know that, instead of saying, well, you made me start this argument, instead of saying that, just say, I have realized I started the argument. And I'll do my best not to start the argument next time. You can just leave it at that. So much easier, so much tighter when it comes to energy. Another thing you can do just in general in your relationship, start paying attention to the energy of it. You don't have to be an energy healer. We all are sensitive to energy. You don't have to be an empath either. We all are sensitive to energy. Think of a conversation as an energy ball that is being passed between you and the person you're talking to. So you're talking, you're giving them the ball, then they are talking, then they are giving back to you. And just connect with it energetically. How does it feel? What is the texture of that ball? If it feels prickly and if it's hurting, most likely there's some negative things are being said. If it's kind and genuine, you're going to feel comfortable. So start your energetical sense from there. And as you work on honing into that skill, you will be able to tell the energy you're putting out and the energy the other person is putting out, and you'll be able to own what you are putting out, because that's all you have to work on. Own what you're putting out. Exercise your choice in what you're contributing to the conversation and to the relationship. The next one is I am calm and confident. Now, this is more of a declaration that you will have in any relationship. Remember when we were talking about negative self-talk? So most of us, we tell ourselves, I'm not confident and I'm just all over the place. I'm not calm and collected. It's just a choice. Just a choice what you tell yourself. Especially when you're about to have a very difficult conversation, just enter it telling yourself, I choose to be calm and confident. And you'll be so surprised how you'll be able to stay calm and confident, again, paying attention to you have a choice right now. Exercise that choice. The next one is I live in the present and not in past. Now that, my friend, is so powerful when we stop living in the past. The way you will fully move into the present moment when you would have resolved your past trauma, your triggers, or whatever junk, unresolved junk that you have left in your past. As you're doing that inner work, you'll be able to come more and more into the present moment because there's less things that are pulling on you. Every argument happens because something happened before that. Isn't that interesting? Every fight happens because something happened before that. Everything is leading from the past into the present moment. Wherever you are in your relationship, if today you make the choice, you know what? Today is a clean slate. I start from here. given that you really want to be in that relationship. If you are already working on an exit plan, that's a different story. I'm talking about a genuinely healthy relationship that you want to make it even more empowered. Today, start with the blank slate. Who you want to be moving forward, how you want to feel moving forward, what kind of actions you want to have, what kind of thoughts you want to think about your relationship. Instead of keep thinking, I think our relationship is bad, I think our relationship is this, start thinking, it's amazing, it's wonderful. I'm not saying that do not get help if you need help. Definitely go for couple therapy, couple coaching, whatever you need, go for that. But change the conversation that goes on in your mind all day long, because that is the conversation that's creating your next moment. If you want to stay in the present moment, you will have to release what happened yesterday. And I can tell you from my personal experience, I've been working on being in the present more and more every single day, learning more how can I do that, healing more of my past so I can be in the present moment. My friend, life becomes so much more beautiful when you get to experience being here in the now, building that inner skill. Again, if that is something you really want to work on, reach out to me. That is one of the specialties that I hold. I can teach you how to truly come into the present moment by helping you heal what pulls you into your past or what pushes you into your future and worry about it. So, how can you put it in practice into your relationships? Whenever you're talking with somebody, do your best to be in this moment. Your mind will tell you, well, right now this person is saying that, yesterday they said that. Bring your mind back here. You can even touch your body and you can say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here internally in your mind as you're listening to them. Another thing you can practice is imagine you're listening with your heart. You're not listening with these ears. You're listening with the ears of your heart. So your focus will be here. When your focus will be here, your heart will be more open. Naturally, you'll be more present in this moment. The next one is, we only got two more left. I create my intention. So this is, now we are talking about being present, being intentional. If you're not intentional in your relationships, one day they are going to go somewhere else, whether it's the intention with your partner, with your spouse, with your siblings, with your friends, with strangers, with your child. Have an intention for that relationship. Where is it going? Don't just have couples relationship goals, have relationship goals for every single relationship. You'll be surprised what you'll be able to experience when you set an intention. Because now what you're doing, you're directing the energy. You're feeling in control. You're feeling safe within you. You're not looking for safety outside of you. Now you know this is where I want to go. For example, one of the intention that I set up with in my relationship with my child was that I will not raise my voice. Now, being a single parent, having the kid home all time, getting no break whatsoever, that was a bit lofty goal, especially when your child is young and they are experimenting all different ways of pushing your button. I kept working on it. I kept working on it. And at this point, I can go sometime weeks without my voice going higher. It stays in one place. Even if my son is having a tantrum, I do have the ability now to stay calm and collected and be able to communicate with him. Why? Because I have set an intention. I have a goal, who I want to be in this relationship. It's not about who I need him to be in this relationship, who I choose to be. You can take this and you can implement it in any given relationship where you're struggling or you want to strengthen it or you want to experience more of your power. Set an intention, a goal, where you want it to go, how you want it to be. But don't make that goal, I want my spouse to be like this. I want my spouse to be more kind. No, set a goal, I want to be more kind. Because you're the one who are going to extract that energy out of the other person. You're the cause of creating a shift in your relationship. But don't take this and go the blame route or what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why can't I make my relationship better? Get help. Sometime we have gone so far out into the wild that we do need someone to get us back to home. If you feel like your relationship has gone really far out, get help. There's nothing wrong in getting help. I will not be where I am today with the multiple mentors I work with at the same time. Whoever I am today, however I can stay calm and collected in every given situation without feeling victim of anything, it's all thanks to my coaches, my mentors who have helped me nurture those skills within me. Please get help if that is what your relationship requires. The last one is I look for good in others. Now, this, my friend, if you're one of those people who look good in other people, most likely you've been betrayed, you've been cheated, other people have called you doormats, other people have said, like, you're so gullible, what's wrong with you? Definitely, there's a very fine line where we just completely go blind and out of feeling safe, we just want to see, rainbow and unicorn all the time, versus when we truly see the good in other people. We choose to see the good in other people because what that is, we are choosing to trust another person. If I cannot trust another person, that means I don't trust myself. Because the reason we don't see the good in other people, we want to be safe just in case, because what we are doing, in case this person betrays me in the future, I can come around and I can say, see, I didn't trust them fully. That means I'm a smart person. That means, I can be safe with myself because, that is the kind of stuff um, we praise in our society. But look at another version of it. I choose to trust another person. They betray, it's on them. Their behavior does not define my choices. That is trust in myself. I'm trusting the choices I made were the right choices in that given moment. Now, their behavior is not impacting me, so I get to walk away feeling intact. That is what I am sharing with you. That level of trust, that level of choosing to see good in other people. Because people change, stuff happen, relationship break. If you can trust yourself that you'll be okay no matter what happened, you'll be fine. You'll be able to go through anything you ever want to go through. Now, just to recap, that brings us to I'm glad we were able to go cover it within 40 minutes. Um, so now let's just recap what we have talked about. We have talked about if you truly want to create empowering or empowered relationships, relationships where you feel you don't have to lose yourself in order to keep the relationship, where you get to be yourself. What does it really require is practicing your choice all the time. Choice, exercising your free will equals you get to feel in power. You get to keep the energy within you. You're not giving away. There are certain ways of thinking where you're letting go of your power, you're letting go of energy. And then there are certain way of being where you get to keep it. You get to be who you want to be. You get to exercise those choices. So I trust that you have found this conversation to be enlightening and it is going to help your relationships become so much juicier than before and so much more loving and harmonious than before. If this is something you want to work deeper on and you want to understand what's going on within you, how to come out of the victim mode, you can always reach out to me, DM me. And if you're watching it on YouTube, you can always go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation with me. And I would love to be your guide to show you how can you stay empowered in every given moment. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.